यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्द यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्द यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा जय व विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापतकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, entitled The Activities of Prachetas, text number 4. Dasavarsha Sahasrante Purusastu Sanatanaha Tesham Avirabhut Krucham Santena Samayan Rucha Dasavarsha Sahasrante Purusastu Sanatanaha Tesham Avirabhut Krucham Santena Samayan Rucha Dasavarsa Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatanaha Tesham Avirabhut Krucharam Santena Samayan Rucha Dasavarsa Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatanaha Tesham Avirabhut Krucharam Santena Samayan Rucha Dasavarsa Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatanaha Yeshamavibhutkrutcham Santena Samayan Rucha Dasavarsa Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatanaha Yeshamavibhutkrutcham Santena Samayan Rucha. Matajis. Dasavarsa Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatanaha Yeshamavibhutkrutcham Santena Samayan Rucha. Dasavarsha, 10 years. Sahasra Ante, at the end of 1,000. Purushaha, the Supreme Person. Two, then Sanatanaha, eternal. Tesham, of the Prachetas. Avirabhut, appeared. Kruchram, the severe austerity. Santena, satisfying. Samayam, mitigating. Rucha, by his beauty. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. At the end of 10,000 years of severe austerities performed by the Prachetas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to reward their austerities, appeared before them in his very pleasing form. This appealed to the Prachetas and satisfied the labor of their austerities. Purport. Performing 10,000 years of severe austerities does not seem a happy endeavor. Yet, the devotees, the serious students of spiritual life, undergo such austerities to attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At that time, when the duration of life was very long, people could undergo severe austerities for thousands of years. It is said that Valmiki, the author of Ramayana, underwent meditational austerities for 60,000 years. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appreciated the austerities undergone by the Prachetas, and he finally appeared before them in a pleasing form. Thus, they all became satisfied and forgot the austerities they underwent. In the material world, if one is successful after hard labor, he is very pleased. Similarly, the devotees the devotee forgets all his labor and austerities as soon as he contacts the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Dhruva Maharaj was only a 5-year-old boy, he underwent severe austerities by eating simply dry foliage, drinking only water, and taking no food. In this way, after 6 months, he was able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. When he saw the Lord, he forgot all his austerities and said, Swamin Krutardhosmi, my dear Lord, I am very pleased. Of course, these austerities were performed in the Satyuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Treta Yuga, but not in this age of Kali. In this Kali Yuga, one can attain the same result simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because the people of this age are fallen, the Lord is kind enough to give them the easiest method. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can attain the same results. However, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out, we are so fortunate that we are not even attracted to chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I am seeking the blessings of Anandamai Prabhu and all the Vaishnavas who are assembled here to speak something for my purification. Generally, I don't give Bhagavatam classes. It was my second class. Last time I gave, that was, So it's like asking a person who plays in the street play a ranging match. So let's see. More than me, you do austerity for hearing me. Hare Krishna. So, if you see the history of our creation, the first spiritual word that came into this material world is tapa. Because Brahma was born and he might have been thinking so many things probably. Might have been murmuring himself. But this first word from from spiritual descended was tapa. That was he heard. So the origin of entire creation is dependent. The basis of that entire creation, the present existing creation is tapa, austerity. So that's why we cannot give up austerity at any stage, whether it is fallen state or liberated state, any state. That's the importance of the tapasya. That's why tapasya means Prabhupada gives a very simple different definition. Willingly accepting inconveniences. That's why we see different sages or different sadhus does different kinds of austerities. Some people sit in, there's as Prachetas, they sat under the water, under the sea. Saubur Muni also did same thing. So some people here also now Himalayas and all they put in the summer, fire around them and sitting in between and doing. So some people does, head down and legs up, a single leg standing, different ways. It's all there's no definition of this is only tapasya. At our level, we are doing the tapasya in different ways. Someone giving up the sweet is tapasya. For someone, giving up something else is the tapasya. Without tapasya, we cannot achieve any either material or spiritual any benefit. Even if you want to get something from out of government or some things, you have to do some tapasya. You have to wait in the queues and the office. some kind of tapasya we have to do. Jai Sri Sri Gaurnatay Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Radha Madan Mohan ji ki jai, Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Bhai ki jai. So similarly here, Prabhupada was giving examples of Valmiki doing tapasya for 60,000 years. And if some also did tapasya for 60,000 years. So actually the tapasya, different kinds of tapasyas are there. So Bhagavad Gita talks about that very nicely. Krishna explains these tapasyas in 17th chapter. Sorry, I need to see the slokas because I am pure at slokas. 17.56. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by the lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. It is tapasya. How to kind of tapasya? Torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within him, within that body. They does tapasya, but still they are considered as demons. Hiranyakashipu did the same thing. Imagine that his entire body was eaten by ants. For us, we don't, ant no need to bite, just it's crawling on our body, we get disturbed. But biting, eating, imagine, biting also we can't tolerate. And it eating, not shaken. That is the level of austerity he did. And it was certified by whom? Brahma. No one can do like this. No one did it before, and in future no one can do. The certificate he got was not like the Miss Universe, whatever we get. Many times I see the Miss Universes and all. There, we have neighbors that are much, much beautiful than them. Many times. Because those certificates what we get are only about the participants who are 50 or 100 participants. Among them they are beautiful. But there are Many beautiful women or girls will be there, but they are not coming out. That's why it was not. But when Brahma gave, it's not like that. He knew each and every living entity, what is happening, what is the situation, everything. What was there in past, what was there going to be in the future, everything he knew. That means he is considering every living entity, not that few who are doing that time tapasa, and among them he is best. So such a austerity was certified by Brahma as the best. But still he is a asura. Because the purpose why he did was completely defeated. In Bhagavad Gita he says that yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad jushoshi, jasa dadadya, yad tapassasi kaunteya. Tat kurushva madarpanam. Only for my madarpanam. For my dedicate, for my sake, for my pleasure. Unless we do that austerity for the pleasure of Krishna, Supreme Person of Godhead, whatever we did, what we did or whatever it is all waste of time. Samaya kavalam. So that's why different there in history, if you see, we find both two sides. Those people who are just did tapasa for the pleasure of Krishna, those who did tapasa for the pleasure of their own sense gratification. So Hiranyakashipu did the same thing. He did tapasya, severe tapasya, but that was for the pleasure, not for the pleasure of Supreme Person of Godhead, for the pleasure of his own sense gratification. He wants to please his senses, not the Lord. So that's why he got, because of that austerity, he got some benefit. So he could able to rule. His desire was fulfilled because he wanted to be conquered. He got unconquerable. For a certain time, he was unconquerable, but not permanently. That's why in Bhagavad Gita also says that when Krishna talks about the austerity in passion, satkaramana pujardham tapodambena chaivayat kriyate tadha proktam rajasam chalam adruvam. Chalam means moving. That's not permanent. So that's what it says. It is neither stable nor permanent. So the result what we get is chalam. Just goes away. So that's why Hiranyakashipu got the result, but it's not permanent. So after some time he lost everything. Not only everything, he lost himself, his life, everything. What he was dreaming. So similarly, Vishwamitra did tapasya. There is also initially, later on he did for pleasing Lord, but initially he did just to become powerful than Vasishtha. That was his thing. So that's why all his tapasya was vain. Manaka came, he lost everything. So anything other than, so same thing in reverse. Dhruva did for something material. Dhruva did something for material, but he was pleasing unknowingly. He was pleasing Supreme Person of Godhead. He was doing for the pleasure of Krishna. So what happened? He was purified. He was looking for temporary benefit, but he got the permanent benefit. It's reverse. So doing tapasya is not the uh, not decides it does not decide the result, but for what we are doing, whom we are pleasing, that that's what decides the results of the tapasya. You know? So that's why many times in our personal lives also we do so many tapasyas, but why we are doing that also matters. You know, some people does tapasya for something, you know, but if it is not pleasing to Krishna, then yes, they achieve it, but they lose it like that only. No. So when we are doing tapasyas, we should be very, you know, very attentive and very careful in deciding why we are doing what we are doing. Otherwise, you know, the good results what we are expecting turn out to be a bad effect. You know, it might damage uh, our spiritual life is even. In Prabhupada's time also there is one devotee who came from America and doing 64 rounds every day in Vrindavan. You know, Prabhupada came and everyone introducing him. Prabhupada, he does, you know, every day 64 rounds. Prabhupada was not at all impressed. He went away. Then they thought that Prabhupada might have not heard properly. So again, you know, they said, Prabhupada, he does 64 rounds every day. And engage him service. So, but they did not. After some time, he left Vrindavan. Not only Vrindavan, he left Iskcon. Then later on, they found him working in a petrol bunk in US. And then one bus party went and they filling the gas and they found him there. He was, oh, Prabhuji, you are there? Yes. Are you chanting? No, I did enough. So, we cannot, it's not easy imitating or doing austerity for name and fame. Actually, that is more difficult than pleasing Lord. Pleasing Lord, doing austerity for the pleasure of Lord is much easier than doing austerity for the pleasure of someone else or ourselves, our sense gratification. So Prahalad will never hear anything that he was doing any tapasya. But he is living for the pleasure of Krishna. Without any austerity. And Bhishma, we never hear that he is doing tapasya. But he is living for the pleasure of Krishna. Whereas Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, these all asuras, they were doing such an intense austerities. They need to do because it's not for the pleasure of Krishna. Since if we are not satisfying Krishna with our austerities, then we have to put more endeavor. We have to torture more. We have to work very hard. So that's why in Satyuga, people were mentally very strong. No? Manasa vacha karmana. No? So that's why controlling mind is very difficult. So that's why they have to do meditation. But in Treta Yuga, words are very strong. So that's why Treta Yuga was the mantras, through mantras, yajnas and all. That was the austerity, controlling your tongue. Karmana, Dwapara Yuga. So that's a pujas and all. But in Kali Yuga, we are all three are gone. We are neither mentally strong, our words are not strong, Our activities also not strong. So we can't do any of either of these three. So we cannot do austerity, cannot do yajna, we cannot do worship. That's why Lord is merciful. So he changed everything. Take out all these three. Just raise your hands and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just chant. Just dance. Feast. He's not asking anything to leave. Do everything, but put Krishna as the center. The examples are already there. Prahalad, Bhishma, they're all there. You don't need to do anything, any austerity, tapasya. Just please, Lord. Do it for the sake of Lord. So that's why whenever whatever activity we do in our life, we should first think whether it is pleasing to Lord or not. If it is not pleasing, because of that we are losing some result, better lose. But unfortunately, we are more bothered about the name and fame here than what Krishna is thinking about. So here everyone is praising, okay, what a good, nice devotee, what a manager, what a president, or what a preacher, whatever it is. But we never bother about what Krishna is thinking about us. It is better to defame here and get fame there, than getting fame here. And if we are, everyone is praising, but Krishna thinks that he is useless. Our entire endeavor is useless. So that's why whenever we do anything, we should more concern about the Lord than the people who are around us. So by that way, actually it is much easier, because we have to please only one person. If we bother about the people, how many people you can satisfy? 10 people you can say, but 11th person says you are useless. 100 people you can satisfy, then 101 person says that you are useless. You can't live. But whereas if you focus on this person, that's all. This one person is enough. So it's much easier austerity also. If you know the right thing to do. If we are not, if we don't understand what the purpose of austerity and how to do and whom to please, then we are end up with hard labor. That's all. Nothing else will come. So, Parchetas did only 10,000 years. Whereas Hiranyakashipu, even Valmiki pleasing, but still he did 60,000 years, and Vishwamitra 60 plus later on again he did. Hiranyakashipu 100 celestial years, 36,000 years. Because their focus was deviated. They could not find the right path. So they were trying to please their senses, and also that's why they need to work hard. So we should not fall under the trap of that, how long I did, but what I did. That is more important. Then by pleasing this Lord, one simple thing, is very simply we can, without any difficulty. So that's why people in Kali Yuga, they don't, accept the fact that just by chanting and dancing you can go back to Godhead. Because they don't see that. How can you see tapasya without, this all this pranayama, asanas, this, ashtanga yoga? How can you go back to Godhead? Yes, all you have to do, because you are not pleasing the Lord. If your purpose, the purpose of life is just to please the Lord, then we don't need to do anything. Just dance and eat, feast, and go back to God. We never see Prahlad doing. Just he's every time, singing the glories of Krishna. Even Hiranyakashipu might have not sleeping, thinking of Prahlad, what to do him. And even Prahlad knows that tomorrow he is going to kill me. Still he was sleeping peacefully. Because he is living not to please, not to save himself, not to save his father, or bothering about. He is bothering about Krishna only. So he is peaceful. So it's much easier for us if you focus on the right goal. Otherwise, unnecessary endeavors we put on our life, and we make our life miserable. Unnecessary hard labor we have to end up with. Yes, materially we might get some results and some name, fame, or whatever it is. But ultimately, we lose the target. So we should not become like that. So that's why here Prachatas did not use their brain. Dhruva was okay, hankering for material thing, but he did not put his intelligence, he did not use his intelligence, just followed what his Guru Narada said. Here they followed what Shiva gave them. Lord Shiva gave them. That's all. Follow the Guru Parampara. Follow the Parampara. Follow the Guru. Just do. We don't need to do extra things, innovative things. We don't need to innovate anything. Just follow as it is. That's all. That's enough. Innovation, yes, gives kick. But we get kick from them, from there also. So that innovation might mislead us, divert us. So we should be very careful and very simple. So that's all. Bhakti is very simple. Prabhupada says. But since we are not simple, that's the problem. If you ask any scientist, 2 plus 2, how much? He never says 4 immediately, because he thinks why he's asking. I am Nobel Prize winner, this, that. Because he's complicated. His mind is complicated, so he never immediately give an answer. If you ask a simple first class student, 4. So our lives become so complicated, we are in a position that we're not able to accept the simple things like bhakti and living simply. That's our problem. But bhakti is not problem. Bhakti is ever simple only. But we are always this, because of our complicated mentalities and all, we are looking for the complicated things only. So unless we do big thing, we don't feel that we did some bhakti. But no. That's a problem. Our Guru Maharaj, Param Puj, Rana Maharaj says that it is better to do big things and complicate your life than sit one place and giving Charanamrut. You can go back to Godhead if you are pleasing Krishna. We don't need to do. Just the person who is giving Charanamrut at the counter sitting. He can go back to Godhead if he is simple, he is pleasing Krishna. So it's simply our mindset we have to change. That is austerity for us. you know, our austerity is changing complicated mentality to simple mentality. So that's why we never find anywhere complexity is the one of the divine quality. Simplicity is the divine quality, humility is the divine quality, humble is the divine qualities, but not complexity. Yes, complexity looks very big. Yeah, big things we have to do. But that's not the divine quality. It's not needed. Only for materialist people it's needed, not for spiritual practice. So austerity is not that how much we are torturing our body, our mind, and this one. Austerity is how much we are endeavoring to simplify our life, simplify our mentality, and trying to please Lord. That's more that's meaningful austerity. So that's why our focus should always be pleasing Lord. Whenever we do, whenever we speak, whenever we think, first things comes in first thing should come in our mind is whether it is pleasing the Lord or not. If we are trying to change our mindset up like that, that is the biggest austerity. That's enough for us to go back to God, not other things. Haridas Thakur, he never did any preaching, big preaching. He never built any temples. Just sitting on place, chanting. That's simple. We have so many examples. If we look at ourselves, we don't need to have scriptures for that. Also, we don't need to have the scriptural knowledge. Just look at our history. Look at our acharyas. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, what he knows, what he has. But living like this, for them it is not austerity. For Gaur Kishore Baba's austerity is getting rid of these materialistic people. For us, being like that is austerity. So let's do that austerity. Be simple. So it doesn't mean that we don't do, big things, but just do the needful, whatever need. Well, Prabhupada also doesn't want to leave Vrindavan. If you give him an option, what do you want? He preferred to stay in Vrindavan only. But it's needed. It's, order of his guru. He did it. But we cannot forget the basics, the main principle, pleasing the Lord. See, in war also, aeroplane, the jet fighter goes, fires the bombs and all, but it comes back. If it continues flying there, what happens? Either someone will shot out, otherwise the fuel will go out and they fall down. So we cannot, any plane, if it loses the connection with the radar, gone. So we cannot, the basic principle of pleasing Lord cannot be forgiven. With that connection, wherever we fly, it makes sense. But in that flying, if we forget this connection, then we are lost. We keep on flying, but we don't know where we are flying. So we should be introspective more than, That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also Janma Sardak Kori first. Let's, deliver ourselves. Then we can think of delivering others. Dharma Sardak Kori Karo Paropkar. Then we can think. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he need not start his preaching as it is. He did first 100 crore names. He did 9 years, he did tapasya. Then he started preaching. Prabhupada, he prepared himself for 40 years. Then he did. So it's not that, we are on the runway and fly. No. We have to train first ourselves. So our austerities should be aligned with the parampara, aligned with the pleasing the Lord, the goal of pleasing the Lord. Then they have sense, they have meaning. Otherwise, it's hard labor only. So we should be careful. That's why Prabhupada says that in Kali Yuga you cannot do all those things. That's why Lord mercifully simplified everything. Because mentally we are not strong, physically we are not strong, verbally we are not strong. So you see here the Hare Krishna mantra also there is no complicated words. Twisting words are also not there. See, simple words only. Simple. Lord simplified everything for us. Now we have to simplify our lifestyle. That's all. That's all, nothing else. That is austerity. We have to simplify our complicated mentality. That is biggest austerity, yes, nowadays. Let us do that austerity for Kali Yuga. Then we can also, of worthful for our movement. Hare Krishna. I speak more than what is practice. So, anyone has any corrections, comments? Any questions? I don't know whether I can answer or not. Please.
Hare Krishna. You were speaking about performing austerity to please the Lord. Just wanted to one clarification that the nature of austerity itself is such that we want to put an end to it at some point. That's why they are called austerity. It may be short or long or very long, but ultimately the person performing austerity want to put a full stop to it, even if it is for pleasing to the Lord. So because of that, what happens? It's very difficult to come out of the fruitive mentality behind austerity. So, because as soon as even if we say, okay, Nirjala Ekadashi or any kind of austerity, so immediately austerity comes along with a full stop. On the other hand, the path of pure devotional service is like Nityam, constant. So, this two appears contradictory. Like, if austerity has to be for the pleasing to the Lord, it should continue forever like pure devotional service. But as soon as we hear some austerity, it's like a inbuilt system is there. Okay, it has to end at some point. Austerity. So, can you throw some light on that?
So that's what ahaitike apratihata. That is the definition of austerity. No? never interrupted. No. It cannot be interrupted anytime. So it has to be continued. So that what Prabhupada says, whatever we are doing in Iskcon, don't think that is here only. After going there also, we have to we have to get up at 4 o'clock, do Mangalarti there, Samsara Dhamma, we have to sing. Everything we have to do. It's not that it's only here. So that's why Prabhupada says, if you think that in devotional life there is some end, devotional practice has some end, then we are Mayavadis. So Prabhupada says, Mayavadis, they climb the ladder and then kick the ladder out. They need a guru because they want to reach certain level. Then they kick the guru we don't need now. But our philosophy is not like that. After going back also, our guru will be like that. Our seniors are like that. Our associates are like that only. There is no end. So that we have to change. This is austerity. Austerity means which we are not comfortable with, accepting that as the austerity. So now we are having some kind of mindset of that, okay, after certain time now I did tapasa, now I become brahmachari, saffron, then I know to do anything. Then it's the end of that. That is the end of your bhakti. So the day we stopped, one thing I want to tell, it is not that what kind of austerity we are doing pleases the Lord. It's how long we are doing that pleases the Lord. The endeavor pleases the Lord, not the action. The day we stopped our endeavor, finish. So that's why we don't need to bother about whether I have changed or not. We know I have so many anarthas, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, but still anarthas are there. No problem. Yashoda was a failure case until she got the mercy of Krishna. Yes or no? Yes or no? She was failing, keep on failing, keep on failing. Damodar Lila, she was keep on trying to bind Krishna, but every time she was failing. It's a failure case. But the moment she got the mercy, no, still we are singing her glories. If she could have stopped, if you and me, our ideal boroughs, now we start analyzing what happened to this rope. Why? you know, how come this, which phenomena, this, that, we stop that one. We could have been staying there only with the rope. Our achievement was rope, not the mercy of Krishna. She did not stop. She was keep on failing, but did not stop. That is what pleased her, pleased Krishna. So our endeavor attracts Krishna's mercy, not our action. What kind of action we are doing? So the day or the time when we stopped putting our endeavor, we are telling that Krishna, I know enough, I had enough mercy from you. We are rejecting Krishna's mercy. So it's not the case of a devotee. Devotee always hankers for mercy of Krishna. So there is no question of austerity stopping. I don't know whether I answered or not. Hare.
Hare Krishna Paji.
Hare Krishna.
Austerity means to please Krishna. So when we think that it is pleasing Krishna, so to continue austerity indefinitely, eternally, and is it? I got my question is it a kind of finding a comfort in austerity itself?
Very nice, very nice question. Actually, I was reading 10th canto, Gaudil Leela. Prabhupada writes there, Prabhupada means Mara, his disciples, so they write purport. They are quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, writing. Actually, Krishna made Indra to act like that. We might be surprised why Krishna has to made, why Krishna wants to trouble his devotees. He's protecting, because of that trouble, when they get relief through Krishna, they develop more love for him. So even if you want to sit comfortably, Krishna will not make us sit comfortably. So first of all, we should learn, we should understand that the day we put in, I'm not scaring, but this is the fact. The day we step in Iskcon, that day we lost our peace. If you want to be peacefully living, then this is not the place. Krishna will never let us sit peacefully. So we don't need to worry. If you are pleasing Krishna, you don't need to worry that I might find some comfort zone in austerity. No, he will keep on tightening, keep on tightening. So that's why, if Krishna is pleased with our devotional service, he gives more complicated services. If we are getting more complicated services, means we should understand that Krishna is pleased with our previous devotional service. He will not let us sit comfortably. So we don't need to worry about that. We need to worry about pleasing him, that's all. Okay. Hare Krishna. Please forgive me if I speak anything beyond my relations. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Anandmay Prabhu, forgive me, I have spoken in front of you about austerities.